mind. So baby, tell me where your love lies. Waste a day and spend the night.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I recorded my everyday eyebrow routine. If you're interested to see how I got these eyebrows, please keep watching. Okay guys, so to start off the eyebrows, the first thing I'm going to use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I use the color dark brown. Brush I'm going to be using is the Sonia Kashuk No. 119 brush. It is a little angled at the top, and that's going to help really well with your eyebrows and getting them to the angle and the shape that you want to get them to. Next thing I like to do is to go in with a spoolie brush. And I just brush out my brows, make sure they're all flowing the same way, the hairs are all flowing. And that way your eyebrows are not going, like some hairs are not going up, some hairs are not going down, and then you add that dip brow into it, it's just going to be a whole mess. So just brush it out. So I did dip my brush in, and now we're going to go into the brow. And the first thing I like to do is to draw a line underneath my brow. And this is where you're going to start it. So just draw that line in, and then I'm going to drag whatever is left to the front. And I lightly drag it back. For it to meet the other parts of the brow. So whatever was left on the brush, I did put it into the front part. I don't like to go back into the pomade and dip it in and then put it in the bottom of the brow, just because that's when you'll start having the box brows, and nobody likes the box brows. So you just want to do whatever is left on the brush, put it in the front and on top. So now we're going to go in and we're going to do the top part of the brow as well. So we're just going in and we are lining up the top brow as well. And as you see, I do it with a very light hand because I don't want it to be way too dark. I do drag out my line for my brow. My brow actually stops here, but I do drag it out down here. I just like that sharp look that it brings. Whatever product is left on your brush, I go in and blend. So I just drag the hairs here back. I go to the front and I push it up. Especially in the front of my brow where it starts, I do it with the light hand. And I just start pushing everything up. Then I'll go back into the spoolie and I'll blend it and make sure everything is blended out. After you line up the brow and after you blend out the brow, you go in and you're going to conceal it and clean it up. I like to use the Master Conceal by Maybelline Face Studio. This is in the color 20, which is the color light. And I use a brush sort of like this with a flat end at the top. That way I can really get under the brows and clean it up. And what I usually do is I bring the brush hairs up, and I do this with all my brushes if you guys have noticed. I do this with all my brushes. I don't know why, I just feel like it makes my makeup or everything I do with my makeup more precise. And this is a concealer brush. I honestly have had this for so long, it like the name of who made it washed out. But you can use any flat brush just like this. So I do is I just put a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, and I mean just like a tad bit, like I don't go in with the whole bunch. So I do put some on my brush and then I go into the brow. So what I do is I go in under, get some more product, and I literally line it up. As you can see, wherever my brow stops, the bottom line, I line it up right underneath. And then in the front part of it as well, I'll drag it out just like that. You can add more, and then you can actually blend it into your eye, and then that's when you can start to go into your eyeshadow. So I'm going to seal the end of it too. So since we conceal the top and bottom, we're going to go in now and we're going to blend it out. And I blend it out with that same brush. So I'm going to go to the bottom and just blend, blend, blend. So in the front of my brows where I had those two lines, I actually remove it with my finger. I don't blend those in. That just kind of makes the shape without it actually being there. And then the top part where I did some concealer, it made it really low as well. After I blended the concealer at the bottom and the top of the eyebrow, I'm going to go back in with my spoolie and I'm just going to blend everything back out to make sure everything is in the right place. Just to make sure it's as long as I want it to be, just to make sure it's sharp. Once you blended out your concealer, you went back in with your spoolie and you blended out the brow. You can go in and highlight your brow bone. Now you can use this with like a cream highlighter. You can use this with the eyeshadow. I just go in with like a really sparkly eyeshadow. Onto my brow bone, I'm gonna get my brush and I'm just gonna highlight it. And the point of highlighting your brow is just to make it pop more. And you add more dimension to it and you sparkle. And who doesn't want to sparkle, right? Who's with me? Another thing you can do is if you have really bad flyaways with your hairs, you can actually get a really good eyebrow gel and plant it on top of your brows, and that will keep your hairs in place all day long. I don't actually apply eyebrow gel because my hairs don't fly away. They don't go up or down. They don't move after I blend everything in. They just stay in place all day. If you guys have noticed, I'm not wearing any makeup, so usually when I do my makeup, I'll apply some lotion first. I'll prep my skin, then I'll go in with my brows. And the reason I do that is because I've come to find out when I'm putting my foundation on, I have all my makeup on and I go in to do my brows and I conceal them, because I do go with a shade lighter of my concealer than my skin is. You'll actually see where the foundation and the concealer like splits. Like the concealer will be like really light or really white or whatever concealer you use, and then you have your foundation and it just doesn't look right. And I feel like when you do your brows and concealer before you do your foundation, everything sets and all you see is your foundation, and then your brows just look nice and they're set and they're ready to go, and it's still concealed and highlighted underneath. Guys, it's okay if you can't get the brow right on the first time. When I first started doing my brows, it took me forever to figure out how to do them, what shape to do them, how much product to apply. Just make sure you go in with a very, very light hand. You don't want to go in with too much product and end up with like the box brows, and you don't want your eyebrows to be too dark. So when you're doing them, just make sure you're doing the best you can. You can go in with the Anastasia, but you don't have to. There's so many other cheaper options. Like I have a e.l.f. Dip Brow Pomade. e.l.f. Cosmetics actually makes it and it's really good. Like there's no big difference. It's just Dip Brow Pomade. Like the only difference is, you know, the brand name on it. And you don't have to use Dip Pomade. You can use a powder. You can use like the pencils. Whatever works for you. Some people use eyeshadow. I mean, whatever works for you, like you do it. You don't have to go out and spend so much money on a good dip brow, a good pencil or whatever just to get your brows to be flaky, because either way you do it, as long as you do it right and you know you do it with the light hand, you don't do too much product, they're gonna come out the same way no matter what you use. Okay guys, and that completes today's video on my step-by-step everyday eyebrow routine. If you did enjoy, do not forget to give me a thumbs up, and please do not forget to subscribe. If you guys would like to see any other videos, please comment below. All the products that I used in today's video will be in the description box below. And thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Tell me how you down, if you're down.